My name is Mia Reynolds. I was 38 years old, married for 11 years, and I truly believed my life was the kind of comfortable, enviable normal that people dream about. A cozy suburban home, a reliable husband, close friends next door, and weekends filled with shared dinners and laughter. That belief unraveled quietly, one page at a time, starting with a simple borrowed recipe book. It began on a casual Saturday morning. My husband, Ethan, and I were hosting our usual weekend dinner with our closest friends, Jenna and Tom Whitaker, who lived right across the cul-de-sac. Jenna was the one who turned every meal into something special. She had this beautiful, handwritten recipe book passed down from her grandmother, filled with family favorites and little notes in the margins. I'd borrowed it a few times before to copy down her famous lasagna or that perfect chocolate torte. That morning, Ethan mentioned he was heading over to Tom's to help with some yard work. Jenna said to grab her recipe book while I'm there. I told him, I want to try that new salad dressing for tonight. He nodded absently, already scrolling his phone, and said he'd bring it back. But he forgot. By afternoon, with groceries spread across the kitchen counter, I texted Jenna, mind if I swing by and pick up the book? She replied instantly, of course. Doors unlocked. Their house felt familiar as I let myself in. Same layout as ours, just mirrored. The book was on the kitchen island, right where she said it'd be. I flipped it open to jot down the dressing recipe. But as I turned the pages, something caught my eye. Tucked between the sections, for appetizers and mains were loose. Notes, folded scraps of paper, handwritten in Ethan's unmistakable scrawl and Jenna's neat cursive. At first my mind dismissed it. Maybe shopping lists or reminders. But curiosity made me unfold one. It was a short exchange. Can't wait for Thursday. Kids at practice till 8? From Ethan. Jenna's reply below, yes, your place or mine. My stomach tightened, but I told myself it was innocent. Neighbors helping each other. Nothing more. I kept reading. Page after page of hidden notes, slipped into the book like secrets in plain sight. They went back months. Flirty at first, then explicit. Plans scheduled around my work trips and Tom's late shifts. Jokes about how predictable we both were. Mia will never notice if we're careful, Ethan had written once. Jenna's response. Tom's clueless too. This is easier than I thought. But it wasn't just an affair. Deeper in, the notes turned calculated. Discussions about leaving us. Merging households for the kids' sake. Splitting assets in a way that favored them. They talked about timing the divorces close together, making it seem mutual, even scripting conversations to avoid suspicion. It was a blueprint for dismantling 2 marriages and building one new life on the ruins. I didn't cry. I didn't slam the book shut or rush home in a rage. Instead, I sat down at their kitchen table, calm washing over me like a cool wave. This wasn't a mistake or a moment of weakness. It was deliberate betrayal, planned in the margins of recipes we'd all shared. I photographed every note with my phone. Clear, dated evidence. Then carefully I added my own touches. A few fake notes and similar handwriting I'd practiced. Ethan's loops and Jenna's flourishes, from years of seeing them. Notes that suggested they were getting sloppy. Planning meetups on days I knew I'd be home early. Just enough to rattle them, to make them question their perfect scheme. That evening, as we prepped for dinner, I acted normal. Ethan came home humming, oblivious. When Jenna and Tom arrived with wine and smiles, I hugged them like always, but I had a plan. I'd quietly called Tom that afternoon, after sending him a few of the photos. We need to talk before dinner, I'd said. He showed up early, pale and silent as I showed him the rest. Like me, he didn't explode. He just nodded, resolve hardening in his eyes. We agreed. Tonight, at the dinner we'd all been looking forward to, the truth would come out, on our terms. As we sat around the table, candles lit, food passed around, I smiled and said, before dessert, I thought we'd do a little slideshow, memories from all our dinners together. Ethan and Jenna exchanged quick glances but played along. I connected my laptop to the living room projector. The first slides were innocent. Photos from past barbecues, holidays, laughs. Then, seamlessly, the scanned notes appeared. Enlarged, undeniable. The room went still. Ethan's fork clattered. Jenna's face drained of color. Mia, Ethan started, but I raised a hand calmly. Don't, I said, my voice steady. We've seen everything. The plans, the lies, the timelines. Tom spoke next, his tone even. It's over. Lawyers are already involved. They stammered excuses, blame-shifting tears. But it was too late. The evidence was projected larger than life, and we had copies for everyone who needed them. By the end of the night, they left separately, bags packed hastily. Tom and I stayed behind, clearing the table in silence that felt strangely peaceful. In the months that followed, the divorces moved swiftly. Their own words sealed fair settlements. But the real change was in me. Without Ethan, the house felt lighter. I turned the guest room into a home office and started a small catering business with Tom. We'd always bonded over food, and now we channeled that into something new, a partnership built on trust, not secrets. 2 years later, our weekend dinners are different. Smaller groups, real friends, no hidden notes. I look back and realize that recipe book didn't just expose betrayal. It handed me the ingredients for a stronger life. Betrayal didn't break me. It freed me to write my own story.